Next is going to be car cleaning or car buffering. And this is where you would not only clean the car, sometimes on the outside as well as the inside, but you'd also buffer the outside so that it shines. And this gives your car that new car look where it just looks really clean and sleek. And people are willing to pay a ton of money for you to do this. Now, there's many different ways to do this. Of course, you could just start up a normal brick and mortar business, and you could also do a remote car wash as well. And this is basically where you come to the person's house, charge a little bit extra, and you wash their car and do all the buffering and everything there. And this tends to attract a type of customer that has more money because they're more time conscious. You know, they're trying to save time by having you come to their house. And because of that, for the convenience, you can actually charge higher. And there's an example of a 22-year-old who's earning $77,000 a year as a car detailer in West Palm Beach. And you can charge anywhere from $100 to over $2,000 for a full detailing. So yeah, this is another really good one. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10 opportunity score. Now, if you just do the car washing side of things and you're not doing the detailing and the correction side, and basically detailing is where you make it shine. The corrections would be where you take out any defects. Like for instance, if it has a tiny little bump in it, you can actually fix those relatively easily. Let's just say you're only doing the car wash side of things. It's gonna be a little bit less good. So I'll give that an 8 out of 10 opportunity score, but still pretty good. Next is going to be Airbnb hosting. Now this is becoming more and more common, and I've actually gone to business conferences and met a bunch of people who are actually doing this. And at first I was a little bit skeptical about it, but honestly, it's a pretty good side hustle. And there are a lot of people that are making a full-time income from it as well. So for example, this guy started a $2.4 million Airbnb business in just 9 months. And basically what most of these people do is they rent out a house. They have an agreement with the landlord that they're actually going to be using it for Airbnb. And then let's say they're renting the house for $1,000 a month, and they're able to make like $2,000 a month from the Airbnb, right? Because they're really good at marketing it online and making sure that people are actually filling up those nights, right? So there's no empty nights where the Airbnb isn't being used. And so therefore they're able to make like $2,000 or $3,000 a month. And it's probably like $500 to $1,000 worth of profit when you count all the expenses like cleaning, etc. And then all you have to do is just get a bunch of those, and all of a sudden you're making, you know, $10,000 a month or more. So yeah, this is a pretty good side hustle. It's more complicated than people make it out to be, of course. But with that being said, I'll still give it an 8 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be tech setup services. And this is exactly what it sounds like. You help people set up their Wi-Fi or their satellite or their computers or their TVs, etc. And sometimes you might be assisting individuals, and sometimes you might be assisting businesses as well. And especially in a small town where not that many people are very tech savvy, this can be an incredibly profitable side hustle. So typically you can make anywhere from $20 to $100 per hour doing this. So if you're the type of person who's extremely tech savvy, this one could be great for you. So yeah, this one is pretty good. I'll go ahead and give it an 8.5 out of 10 opportunity score. And the next one, which is very similar, is going to be if you're really good at kind of online tech savvy type stuff, so not necessarily setting stuff up, but actually doing stuff online, you could consider getting into digital marketing. And there's many different ways of making money from this, all the way from getting a job to starting your own business or working as a freelancer. And one way you could do it, for instance, is to advertise for local businesses. And digital marketing is a super valuable skill set that you can learn. I've actually helped a bunch of people on this channel get into digital marketing, and you start off making between $40,000 and $60,000 a year typically, and that's if you get an entry-level job. You can make much more than that by starting your own business or doing freelancing. So yeah, digital marketing is great. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10 opportunity score. And also you can access some free training in digital marketing that basically shows how all the people that I interviewed on my channel got into it, and that I'll put down in the description as well as the pinned comment below. Next is going to be lawn care, and believe it or not, this one can be incredibly profitable as well. That's right. You can mow people's lawns, you can weed whack, and you can trim their bushes and their hedges and make a ton of money doing it. And there's a bunch of examples of people absolutely crushing it with this business model. For instance, there's this guy on the Family Feud show, and they talked about it. He makes $4 million a year with a lawn care business. There's another guy who posted a video to YouTube. He makes over $10 million a year with his lawn care business. And the average pay for lawn care is typically about $30 to $70 per hour. So yeah, this is another one. You gotta be willing to get your hands dirty, be out in the sun, doing hard work, but you can make a ton of money if you're willing to do that. I'll go ahead and give this one an 8.5 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be pet care. And this is one where, yeah, it's still a little dirty. You still have to do a little bit of work, but it's honestly probably a lot of fun too. And services would include walking, feeding, providing companionship, as well as just housing the pet if the owners go off on vacation, for instance. And you can make a ton of money doing this. There is countless articles online about people making full-time incomes with a pet care business, because honestly, people will spend a lot of money to make sure that their pets are well taken care of, because the pets are really just a part of their family. So tons of content online about how to get started with this. Really good business. I'll go ahead and give it an 8 out of 10 opportunity score. Very similarly to pet care is dog training. And this is where you actually train other people's dogs. Now, there's many different ways to do this. You can train family dogs from the time that they're a puppy to make sure that they don't have any issues. You can also train dogs that are already having issues, or you could even get contracts with government agencies and train dogs to be like police dogs or something like that, or security dogs, right? So that's actually what this person does right here. So 4-legged security guard dogs cost as much as $230,000, right? Because they need to be properly trained. And the average dog trainer makes about $60,000 to $70,000 a year. But again, that's like an entry-level job. You can make much more than that if you start your own business. So yeah, another really good one. I'll go ahead and give it a 7.5 out of 10 opportunity score. By the way, comment down below if you see any side hustles that you think are really good, or any side hustles that you want me to make more videos on, or ones that I should have mentioned in this video. I always love to hear your guys' feedback, so comment down below and I'll get to see it, and there's a good chance I'll talk about it in a future video if I see a good one. The next one is going to be custom storage. So this is where, let's say you have some room in your backyard, or you've got some room in your basement. You can actually just rent that room out for storage facilities for somebody else. Now, there's actually dedicated apps that do this, but chances are if you're in a small town, they may not actually work there. So in this case, you'd have to basically just advertise your services. Now, you can actually store things in your place, or another thing you could do is you could actually just build sheds for other people. And if you did the storage in your place, that would be a really good form of passive income. You could make a few $100 a month for basically doing nothing, just using up space that you wouldn't have been using anyways. And if you build sheds, you can make a lot more than that. So typically sheds can cost anywhere from $1,800 to $8,250 on average. And on top of that, you get paid about $3,350 or more per project. So you can get paid really good money to just simply assemble a shed. And honestly, they're not that difficult to make. So this is another really good one, kind of a random side hustle that's storage related. I'll go ahead and give this one a 7 out of 10. Next is going to be a food truck. Now, this is one that's near and dear to my heart because I've had some food trucks out there that have been amazing. If you find like a really good Mexican food truck, it can just like change your life basically. But a food truck is a really cheap, fast way of setting up a restaurant that doesn't cause you to take a lot of risk, right? So you can just get a food shop, you can quickly set up a restaurant or a restaurant idea, and you can test it out. And you don't have to worry about having a physical location where you don't know if the location's good or not, because if the location isn't good, you just drive your truck to another location, and it's that simple. So I recently moved to a new area, and there's basically no good Mexican restaurants in this area. And the first thing I thought is, man, someone needs to set up a food truck here. And I can almost guarantee you that if somebody did, they would make a ton of money from it. So there's lots of opportunities out there to set up a food truck and make some good money. And it's not just Mexican food, of course. For instance, this guy started Soul Taco, and that's kind of a Korean fusion type of food. And food trucks make on average about $250,000 to $500,000 annually. And that's about $20,000 to $42,000 per month. And then if you have like a fleet of food trucks, you're gonna make a lot more than that. So yeah, this one can be phenomenal. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7.5 out of 10 opportunities.